What's going on, guys? Bo here. Welcome to something that a couple of us YouTubers are we've decided to get together and decide to create a podcast, which we'll probably be talking about completely random, but probably not unique, but different topics that you don't always hear in every other video ever recorded by other people. But we've decided to create a podcast, and hopefully this will be enjoyable for you to listen to. Hopefully you can leave us some comments deciding on whether you enjoyed it or not. And above all, we would like to hear about some topics we could possibly cover, really. So this will be uploaded onto our channels really every week, a separate one though. However, we won't be uploading the same video onto 5 different channels. We'll be uploading these onto a different one every week, so it'll be another 5 weeks minimum before it actually appears on my channel again. So please leave some comments on what we'd like to see, really. So we've got 4 YouTubers, so if you'd like to introduce yourself, Danny or Araze.
Hi, my name's Araze, of course. I'm pretty sure you guys should know that we all make YouTube videos on Runescape, of course. So, I mean, you can obviously go to our separate channels to kind of check out and know about us a bit more individually. But me, myself, I make videos on quite very different accounts, and kind of thought it'd be a good idea to get a few people together and discuss maybe some topics and some issues that are on RuneScape. So, Sam, if you want to talk about yourself a bit.
Well, I'm Sam, or Mystical as people know me, or Phoenix MMO, and I'm here with a bunch of friends to make a podcast. Just to let you all know, you all need to be in on this, all of Adam's subscribers. We've already done a 30-minute attempt of this, and I failed to record it because I failed PK. So, yes, I've introduced myself, so we'll just, basically we're introducing everybody, and then we'll get straight on with the subject. So, Eco or Max, would you like to introduce yourself, bitch?
Hola, amigos. Joking. Hey guys, it's Eco here. Hi, I'm Eco, and this is me, and Toby, do you want to introduce yourself?
What's up, lads? Toby here. This is a podcast that Danny has invited me to take part in. I think it'll be good. Something for you guys to listen to every week. We'll be talking about different sorts of things, and I think it'll be quite enjoyable. So, Adam, do you want to get us started?
Adam?
Adam?
I think he's busy getting his
dead.
fishing XP. So I guess I'll take the lead just for now whilst he's AFK, I believe. But basically, we kind of have maybe just a few topics to talk about and to maybe discuss some opinions on. If anybody has any burning topics that you really want us to comment or talk about, then leave it in the comments below. We'll definitely be checking them. All of us will be checking them to make sure that there is a burning topic that a lot of people are wanting us to talk about. We will make sure we do so. So I guess the first one is something that everyone can relate to that is going to be playing RuneScape, and that's bonus XP, which is, I believe, the 16th of March, and it's pretty much bonus XP, which starts at 2.7 times multiplier and decreases every half an hour. So I think maybe we should talk about ourselves, what we're doing. If Toby wants to start by talking what he's doing.
All right, lads. Well, I've always been into training combat, purely combat. I've never trained skills. I've never been interested really in training skills. So a lot of the time I've just sat there and double EXP weekend PKing on my own because there's actually no one else in the build whilst everyone's skilling. But this time I've decided to be proactive, and I've bought a lot of supplies. I've bought 90 crafting, 99 cooking, 99 fletching, 90 smithing, all sorts. I spent like 200 mil, I think, on supplies, which will be good because if you look at my stats, I'm only 44 slayer and 40 farming, so I guess I'm going to have to give those a workup as well. I should gain probably about 100 not combat levels, stats. So I should go over 2k total, which would be awesome, but nothing compared to Adam, who's got like 2.3k. But yeah. Axe, what are your plans?
My plans are, well, first of all, I remember from the last bonus XP weekend that I actually did some farming runs. I got reminded by a friend to do some farming runs because obviously you plant the seeds the day before and you log in and you quickly go and just do a farm run, obviously replant it and then go to the next ones, and you get, like, depending on what tree you're doing, you get massive amounts of XP. And so I'd definitely recommend anyone doing that. As for other skills, I guess I could do a bit of rune crafting. Not too sure about that though, because I mean I could do some talismans. You can make them on the rune crafting altars. I'm not too sure if they are affected or not, but they probably are. But yeah, they're really expensive. So hopefully if I do that, then it will save me a bit of money, because obviously I need to get 75 rune crafting to get the ID Cloak 4, which I've never had before. So that's a pretty good achievement to go towards. As for Herblore, I guess everyone really goes down that line of getting Herblore, but I could try to go for 84. Not too sure, because it's not really a good time to buy supplies right now, I'm guessing, because I don't know, people try to merch, but then sometimes it fails. And I think the one time I bought some supplies for Herblore on like my main or something, and actually it was actually cheaper to get them than to actually save up and get it before the actual weekend, like in advance. So I guess that's pretty cool. I could also do some other skills which I don't really enjoy, like mining or agility, but yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. So if anybody else wants to take over, Adam, if you want to take over.
Well, I actually had a plan A for what I was going to be doing for the bonus XP weekend about a month before it was even announced. So this is what I was going to previously do. But then yesterday I was talking to a friend who actually suggested a very, probably like a kind of like abusing the double XP system, really. It starts at 2.7 and every 30 minutes it drops, but that's only 30 minutes logged in games. So my plan A was I was going to do Hunter at the Draconic Jadinkos. Hunter is a fast skill, but it requires a fair bit of attention, and I would not really want to be doing that for a while. But to get like 1.5k XP drops while hunting these Jadinkos, it would probably be like 85 to 95 in a day or something like ridiculous like that, because it would be an extremely fast skill. But my plan B is actually to do a dungeoneering, and when I actually get into the floor, I would on the 2.7 XP counter, I would log out and I would log in 9 minutes later, leeching the floor, and I'd log in 9 minutes later and then I'd log back out and then back in, so my counter would not be dropping, which means I'd actually be getting maybe 4 minutes of my counter going down for a one dungeoneering floor, which allows me to get probably on average 5 floors in for the first 30 minutes if you count in times creating the teams and then getting back into the floor. This would get me around 1.25 million experience in the first 30 minutes of game time. And then obviously I need to do some more stuff like, I don't know, like the counter goes down, I get the 2.6 count and then the 2.5, whatever they are, so I'm still getting like double XP for a very long time before it drops below the double counter. But until then, I would probably get a hell of a lot of XP, so I'm not too sure what I'll be doing for the bonus XP weekend, but I believe that it will probably have to be dungeoneering if it works effectively, else I will be doing Hunter. So if Arrays wants to tell us what he will be doing on this day?
Sure. I mean, me myself, I kind of have pretty much 3, maybe 4 accounts running at one time, which is kind of an issue when making videos. A lot of people do get confused. But quite recently I've been focusing on my main, doing a bit of skilling, PVM and Slayer. So I myself will be doing Herblore. I mean, it's the most costly skill. I'm already 94, but I pretty much bought my way till 90. I think I've got 98 bought. I'm going to go for 99. Save a bit of GP. I mean, it's one of the skills where you're not competing against other people, i.e. chinning. There's going to be so many people there that I seriously wouldn't suggest it. Yeah. It's kind of a waste. But my only real suggestions to anyone, since I've had this bonus XP since it started, is to make sure you have farm trees planted, ready so that when you log in, you can straight away get some beast XP, as Max talked about. And then try to do, if you can, a bank skill. It's kind of, you don't have to compete with anybody else. And you can get some nice GP saved and stuff like that. So I guess Sam's the last one to talk about what he wants to do. So if he wants to fill us in.
Quite. I wanted to do my crafting, as in Adam would be doing Bibles, I think, because that is the most logical thing to do, but obviously he has all of them done. Now, my first things first to you guys is to state that if you don't have Bibles and you have money, I would have recommended previous to now, but if not already, to focus on one of those stats and get it done. Now, obviously, that's what Max was saying, was the Herblore is one of the most common, bonus XP weekend stats to train, but in saying this, what I've just said now also means that every single bonus XP that happens, all prices rise on everything. So like for me, for example, I wanted to do 90 to 95 in crafting, because I'm getting 95 in all the Bibles, so that I can open all effigies myself, and now I don't think that's going to be possible, because crafting, once already being expensive before bonus XP has been announced, the supplies have rose by like 100 GP per uncut, and like like sunk 100 GP per cut. So it is theoretically going to be impossible unless I do what Toby's doing, but then again, I'm not rich. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing for bonus XP weekend. If worst comes to worst, I will train a combat stat, which is definitely not what you're supposed to do unless it is chinning or barraging. But as Danny said, not recommending that at all. 1, chins and barrage runes will be going through the roof at the moment, and 2, the spots will be full. So if you want to move on, Adam, to the next subject of choice, and yeah.
All right. Our next subject was actually covered by a Raise in a video uploaded by him, which I'm not sure you will have seen it. I'm not sure how many people will be subscribed to a Raise here, but this is actually a bit on the behind the scenes that are coming for this month, and this is talking about the new bolts that have been added into the game, which are apparently going to be able to deal critical damage towards anybody wearing or having mage influence with them. So if they're wearing mystics and you're using these bolts against them, you're literally going to tear them to pieces, which, moving on, is going to be destroying hybriding because, of course, raggers exist in the game. I'm not going to spend long on raggers, but if raggers are in the game and they create some bolts, which practically is probably next to perfect for raggers to have, it is going to affect hybriding badly. So as one who doesn't hybrid that often in the game anymore, I'll move on to a Raise, who I think hybrids a fair bit, and Max, I believe, does. So if one of you wants to take over for this.
Go Raise.
I guess I will. Pretty much I made, as soon as I saw it, I could kind of pre-see the future as such as to what this was going to do, i.e. As to how this was going to affect hybriding, and I made a quick video straight away. And I kind of had a lot of people start to flame back before really listening and understand what I'm saying. What I was trying to say was that hybriding itself was going to really screw itself up by what Adam said, as in Rangers have a huge advantage over anybody trying to hybrid at the moment, and the fact that these bolts, actually its actual special ability is to help against people in magical armor. It's kind of stupid, but it is good for those people who actually do legitimately solo 1v1 Edge PK in Edgeville and against other melees, since for them they don't really have that much, i.e. in terms of special attacks or anything that hits greatly high, compared to the Karate Claws AGS, the new Storm of Armadillo and the Polypore, of course. So for them it's very good, but for those who enjoy hybriding, maybe not so much. I don't see it being a positive influence. I see it being more negative than positive myself. You got any thoughts on that, Max?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, say if you're just going out there, go get a Brid fight, then you go get PJ'd by a ragger, and with D-bolts they can already hit with like over 9,000. No, they can already hit like loads. Now that these new bolts are coming along, they're going to be even more overpowered, and especially as you said, like if you're in magic gear, then it's just going to be an even bigger pain. I think Bridding will just overall just die out even more, which is a real shame because some people really do enjoy it, and I think Toby Brids as well. So I mean that would be a big shame if if that does happen. But yeah, I don't know if Toby has any other thoughts on this, or because he does Brid. So yeah.
Well, I've only been Bridding like 2 weeks now, and it's really apparent that a massive factor and problem with the wilderness at the moment, which people say it wasn't like before because people had honour and whatnot, but ragging is a huge issue to me. So what I've had to do is kind of make friends with the kind of ragging community. I guess it's a bit sad, but it's the only way that I'll be able to make videos and kind of PK and stuff like that. But this edition, I can definitely see it already. I can picture it as soon as the update comes out. You go to hybrid and you get one item with the thing, which is going to make me rage quit, whatever. I think Jagex are just constantly making updates. I mean, I haven't seen a good update in so long. They constantly change things that don't need to be changed. I wish they would, open up and take on board our views and thoughts and actually try and change something for the better. But I'm kind of relying on Bounty Hunter to be, a kind of rescue and saviour, because I personally don't think that a lot of people claim that RS 2006, they spam it on all the videos about ragging and stuff like that, but I personally think it's not the game, it's the community. So, you go on RS 2006, there will still be raggers, although they'll be far less powerful than they are now. So yeah, that's pretty much everything covered that I'd say.
Well, I think I have to totally agree with you, Toby, on terms of updates. I think quite recently the only good one has been the tool belt, and that was quite a while ago. Adam, you got any thoughts?
Personally, I did not like the tool belt. I mean, the tool belt update came out the day I started training agility, and this actually nerfed the pylord method, which means I could have got 99. Did I say agility or fire making?
Agility, you said it first.
Okay, I meant fire making, but it nerfed the pylord method for fire making, and this was the day I started fire making really, so I could have got 99 fire making in like 2 days with that method, but of course it nerfed it. It wasn't worth the time of concentration really, so I didn't really like the tool belt, but let's just say hands down this squeal of whatever the hell it is the best update going. Seriously, it's too much. Moving on, I mean, we kind of covered the two topics we covered in the last podcast that we recorded, which just to say this was probably like 1,000 times better than the one we've just done. I mean, we were just going in. It was going well, and now it didn't record, and now we have to go into this one. So I'm not sure what else is to cover, but I believe Sam hasn't let rip upon these bolts. So let's see what these bolts come to mind to someone who doesn't actually hybrid. So
exactly.
Let's go.
There we go. Yeah, I'm not a hybrider. These all are. So my opinion is going to be very much different to these guys. Now, firstly, I didn't actually mention the last time we recorded this, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this. So Danny and you lot, I want you to all throw in what you think of this, because we didn't actually, speak about this the last time. But firstly, in terms of non-hybriding, Range has long been due an update. I mean, Karasi, Claws, AGSs, they're all overpowered at the moment in terms of melee. And then you've got Storm of Armadillo and Polypore, which just rape the melee. And Range has always had, it had its Dark Bow update, which I believe they're like 60 mil on the first day. But surely they've dropped down to like 300k at the moment. Now, Range has long been due an update in terms of 1v1 edge PKing, and I know and fully understand the ragging problem in the breeding community, but the breeding community, I don't know if it's larger than the solo PKing community, and I won't put facts to facts, but it needed to be done in terms of that. Now, I don't agree that Jagex are going about the right methods of updating the game by making things more overpowered. Danny said in the last podcast we just recorded, he brilliantly said that Jagex seems to just be fighting fire with fire. Now, I'll quote that off Danny. He actually said that, not me. But it's exactly right. Jagex, instead of bringing out all these new things and all these new items, need to take a step back and think, actually, we should start nerfing them. If they nerfed every single thing in the combat triangle and food, fights would last longer, and it would be much more fairer. The fights would be much more. It would take more skill than running up to someone with a Dark Bow in full void and one hitting them, running up to someone with a Ring of Vigor and two hitting them with Karasi, running up to someone in Max Mage Virtus, Divine and Polypore or Storm of Armadillo and one hitting people. It just doesn't seem right that they keep bringing out these updates. Now, to everybody else, you guys in the call, I'd never thought about this until now. The bolts that are being released, which is the current discussion topic, we have not discussed whether they have a massive quest requirement, much like the Storm of Armadillo, which
I think... Sorry, I don't mean to butt you in. I think on the behind the scenes, I haven't actually got the page up right now, so I can't quote precisely, but there was something about some female NPC who set up shop just outside Edgeville. I believe that's what's quoted.
Yeah,
and so it's fairly close to Edgeville, which is obviously dominated by PKers. If you go obviously just north of the ditch, of course. So, and also it says something about some trees in the wilderness that you need to cut. I mean, I believe that the requirements to actually cut, fletch, and make these bolts are fairly high, but it's just like the new flasks. They had high requirements, yet you can still get your hands on them at a decrease in price.
Okay, well, fair enough. Now, that kind of leads on to my next point. Now, if there is a girl or a person in Edgeville selling them, then this kind of rules out my point. But as I was just about to refer to that as well, Danny, we saw the release of flasks. Now, a 4-dose Sour Brew would have been like 11k, and then a 6-dose Sour Brew was like 60k. If this was the case in terms of reflecting to this bolt update, 1, the requirement's high, 2, it could have a quest requirement like the Ritual of Marjarat, which is an insanely tough quest. It's long and long-winded in the stat requirements and stuff. It's not exactly a walk in the park. You can't just go, I want Storm of Armadillo and make it happen. It does take a long time to get. Now, if they do release this, it is going to... Now, in my eyes, I watch videos of people ragging, and I see raggers. You don't necessarily see them with amazing stats and lots of money. So I don't think you're going to see Raggers on day one with this new bolts. And more importantly, if they aren't going to be sold in a shop, which you have said they are going to be, then what's the price going to be of them? Can a Ragger really afford to go out in black D-hide just to piss people off if the bolts are 60k each? Because D-bolts, when they were released and when they were big, big used in Bounty Hunter Worlds and stuff, they weren't the cheapest bolt either. Now, if these are going to give a 120 plus ranged attack damage bonus, own people in mage gear, and you just generally be overpowered, and with high requirements, I don't see these being cheap. So, in terms of you guys complaining about, which is completely fine, but you're complaining about rags, I actually don't believe that you're going to see a lot of rags, especially on day one. With these bolts.
It's very possible. I mean, like I said, it's still obvious. It's still behind the scenes. They could change things up still, but it's not actually released yet. This is just kind of our thoughts just flowing around. So please, nobody take it too serious and try to moan about certain things, about saying one thing or the other. Like we said, it's still behind the scenes. But my future prediction is that it might not be too good for the hybriders. It might just end up going downhill.
I agree, and I can see that definitely happening. I've just said this is a long due buff for Rangers in 1v1 soloing kind of things, and PVM. They're two things that Rangers have had a significantly less updates for anybody else, in comparison to anybody else, rather. Now, that's being said, they should be nerfing things, not buffing things. But you just want to finish off here and see what needs to be said?
First of all, I'd like to say that our first attempt at the podcast was probably better than this one, but we have covered the identical points, and because you'll never see that one, you can't really compare them, so that doesn't matter. I hope you've enjoyed this one overall. But what I want to ask you all now is that would you want to see more of these, probably better than this, using unique topics, some topics obviously that will be recommended by you, but only if they are unique. We don't want to cover topics that have been covered lots before because it's nothing new to you, and we prefer to bring more unique things that you would look forward to hearing from. We'd also like to know if you would like to see longer podcasts from us. We're not really sure what you all want. We just kind of got together and we're making this just to see the feedback on this video, really. So it's up to you here if you want to see more. And we didn't really have many questions or anything to answer here, so that's obviously we've gone off our own questions. So, of course, if there's anything that anyone would like to hear from us in the next podcast, which will probably be in a week or so, and it will not be on this channel, it will be on someone else's, which hasn't yet been decided yet. But Toby wants to quickly say something before I finish off.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, guys, that this was all basically improvisation, because obviously as the first one, you guys didn't know that we were going to do it, and we didn't actually have many questions. So I think it will get really interesting when we get good questions from you guys, and we can kind of open up to all of us in here, because we're all different characters and quite influential, I guess, in our own ways. And, we can have a really good discussion about it. So I think that this could be really successful, actually. Anyone else want to say anything before we leave?
Say bye, really. Thank you for watching. Obviously, leave a rating if you did enjoy. But more importantly, over ratings in this kind of thing, we're going to look for comments. Now, all of us are going to be browsing and scouring through Adam's channel and comments. So if you guys want to really help us out and post topics of suggested discussion, and basically just say if you think this is a good idea and if you want us to carry on. Now, nobody said it so far, but on the screen you can see everybody's names. If you want to give them a click, if you don't know who they are and you want to see further content. Danny Arrays is a hybrider. You're already on. Well, he's a PK hybrider and likes to do.
I don't really hybrid too much.
You like you like to do things on multiple accounts at once, like a boss. Adam, you're already on his channel. Max is a PKer and does some
randomer,
sexy ass, vlogs. He does update videos that are pretty intense and one of the best I've ever seen. And Toby is new at hybriding, but very, very influential in terms of that. He's started editing them himself and stuff, and he will be releasing one very shortly after this video. So if you want to go check that out, he's a nice guy as well. In terms of that, guys, the comments drastically important on this video, and as for everyone else, I think we should say peace out.
See you later.
See you, ladies.